Hi YouTube family, it's Daughter of the Most High. I want to share a dream with you that I had this morning, Friday morning. I did record this previously and post it, but then I just took it down. I want to shorten it. I was a little too wordy and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and share the dream with you. This morning I woke up at 9 o'clock. I usually wake up about noon with my crazy hours I keep. But I woke up at 9, looked at the clock, and I just turned over and was able to fall right back to sleep. Well, just prior to my waking, I had this dream, and I want to share this dream with you. So in the dream, my kids were there, and I was standing by the dining room table, and my kids were being like standoffish and strange, and you know how you just get that feeling like something strange here, something's off. And I was thinking, I instantly thought that it was due to something my ex must have said or done to, because that was a pattern in our history that he would try to turn, especially our son, against me. And that was where my mind went first in the dream, that he did something. He's done something. And he's turned the kids against me. And then all of a sudden, my sister's in the room. Now, this is the sister that there's been division for, it'll be 19 years this summer. And I've tried to work with her. She won't have it. And so it's at a standstill. So she's there and she's acting so like, she was calm, but she was so like calculating in her words. And I thought, what's going on? And I'm thinking, they planned something. They're doing something. Something's up. And so I thought, okay, all right, I got to get out of here. And I was afraid. I was, alarmed and afraid in the dream. So I wanted to change my clothes and get a few things and get out of there. So there was folded clothes on the table. And so I was looking for my sweats. I want a quick change out of my clothes, be in comfy clothes, get some food, get some dog food, take the dogs, and go in my van. That was my plan. So, and my sister was like walking around and like kind of being weird. She was. And so I thought, they're planning something, something's going to happen. So there was a hallway to the right in this house, which was in the dream my house, of course. And so I walked down that little hallway, and as I was going to turn, to go up the stairs, there was a woman standing there. And I don't know who she was. I didn't know in the dream who she was. And she reached for my hand, and she put her fingers, her two fingers and her thumb, like this, on my hand. And I didn't see anything on her hand. There was nothing strapped to her hand. But on the underside of her two fingers and her thumb, there was some kind of prong. And it pricked my hand, and it stung. And I knew she injected me with something. And I was just in a panic. It was like, my thought was, I gotta get out of here. And that's when I woke up. Okay? So I woke up and I was so upset. And I was like very scared, very alarmed, and had some tears and was trying to make sense of this, and to see my kids turned against me and behaving like that. And then also, something was injected in me by that woman, and that's what they were planning. They were planning, I didn't know it, but then they were gonna, that was their goal, was to inject me with something. And so, but my heart, because it was my kids, my heart was so broken by the fact that my kids had turned against me, that they weren't like the same anymore. And my sister's always been, even before the falling out, my sister's always had like a quirky way about her. And then since that time, she treats me like I'm, she thinks I'm so bad, like I'm a monster. So I'm used to her behavior. Not quite as strange as it was in the dream, but I'm used to her behavior. And so I was just so crushed in the dream. And I woke up and I was feeling all of that because it was so real in the dream. And I was afraid, and I said, God, what does that mean? And I was so afraid that somehow that this was like God was telling me this was the future. My kids were going to be turned against me. And that, that same, I've read about that, and I've heard teachings, in prophetic teachings on YouTube that in the end times, especially after the Antichrist emerges, that families will turn in other family members that aren't following the current agenda. And they will, here she is, she's a Christian, she won't, or he, he won't follow the plan. So I know that that's part of the end time, happenings. And so I did. I got up, I made a cup of coffee, I shed a few tears. I'm like, God, what does this mean? What does this mean? I've been praying for my kids every day for, it seems like forever, since they were little, but especially, since being in the end times and being so aware of the end times and the danger. And, my kids are not committed Christians. My daughter is much more in tune than my son. My son's very opposed. He's just flat out opposed. And he thinks I'm nuts, about that and what I teach him and tell him about the end times and what's coming. He didn't believe me. He says, Mom, you're nuts. Only your little group of people believes that. And it's like, you know what? That's true. But we're the ones that are right. So, yeah, so my heart was just broken, and I was so afraid my kids would be lost, or, in the different ways that we are aware of that were evident in the dream. So, yeah, so that's basically what happened, is they were in cahoots against me and set me up for me to have this. So, I prayed about this, I got ready and sat on my bed for a little bit, then I, just praying and stuff, and then I just got ready, and my heart was so crushed, but I was getting ready and going to work and thinking, I thought I'll think and pray on my way to work. And so I did. I got ready, heading to work. About, I was about 2/3 or 3/4 of the way to work, and thinking about this dream off and on my drive, and a license plate caught my eye, and I did a double take, because I'd kind of, how you glance, and then I just looked back, and the license plate was 737. WLL. And I want to, I wrote that down, and not while I was driving, but when I got to work, and I thought, I'm going to look this up. And so I looked it up, and 737. Now the WLL immediately impressed upon me like it was will. God's will. 737 is God's will. So I looked up 737 at work, and it means now, at this time, at this very time, and this moment. So I was like, oh my gosh. So you know that in my last video that I've been feeling like this was impressed upon me, but not 100% certainty. And then I saw that video about get out of the cities, and I felt like I was supposed to see that. It wasn't just random that it was in my list of videos when I clicked on YouTube. And so I had prayed, and I said, God, I really need a confirmation if I'm supposed to move and when I should move. And it's just too, I need more from you, God, please. And so when I did look up 737, I thought, oh my gosh, God, are you confirming this? Am I supposed to get my house ready to sell and look for a new house and move forward on this? Now, at this time, at this very time, this moment. So I asked God, even today, I said, God, I really need another confirmation, even though that seems like that would be all the confirmation somebody might need. This is too big of a task and too life-changing. Please show me again if this is exactly what you mean, and then I'm just going to hit it. I'm going to go ahead and get ready, and then I have to look for a house. What am I going to do about work? You know, that kind of thing. And so today was just, I was overwhelmed today, I was. And I made it through work, and God was with me and everything, but it was a tough day. It was. And the toughest thing was just seeing my kids, not my kids anymore, that they had been turned against me. And it was so scary to see that. And I so don't want that to be their future. It's like everybody had succumbed to which I didn't put that together initially. It's at the end of it that I realized that they had set me up. And, you know, and they were all like on the same team against me, and they were going to get me. And then that woman did get me. And so I was just like, no, God, no, it can't go this way. No. So I'm still praying for, you know, a little bit more clarity regarding that dream. And if you have any thoughts, if anything's impressed upon you, please share it in the comments. And then also about the 737 WLL. So, yeah, just need a little help on this one. It seems like big things are happening. I don't know how else to, you know, pray for my kids other than what I'm doing. I've talked to my kids. I've prayed to my kids. Pray to my kids. You can tell I'm a little bit off today. It's been a hard one today. I've been pretty like in kind of some knots and that heaviness on the inside. But I pray for my kids every day, every day. And I've prayed for them their whole lives, but more so since we've been in the end times. I don't want them lost. I want God to draw them into the kingdom. They have both been willing to not follow the end time agenda. So I'm so grateful for that. But in this dream, apparently they were shut down. They were turned away from me. And I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen. So anyway, that's what the Lord brought to me today. So please share your thoughts with me, and please pray, and so that I can really get some clarity here. It's, you know, I'm by myself. My kids will not come with me. Now, as I mentioned in a previous video, once things start to happen, if my kids are able to, they will certainly come to me. Wherever I'm living, they will. So, but they both have good jobs about 15 minutes from, you know, this townhouse. And so they're not going to come with me. I'm thinking of moving. Now I'm praying about the houses that I've looked at. They're in rural areas. And it's just, God, which one? You know what's in that city. You know what the neighbors are like. You know what it's going to be like for me. Which one is the best place for me? Which one is the right place for me? And so I'm really praying for a leading regarding that. And I really had some leading when I bought this townhouse. I did. And I knew as soon as I stepped in the door here, after looking at several townhouses, I was like, this was it. I knew it. You just feel it. It's almost like hand in glove. It's just, yep, this is it. And so, yeah, I need that again. So, but first I have to get some confirmation, because this is big stuff. So anyway, I'm going to let you go for now, fam. It's late and I'm getting tired. But I appreciate your thoughts. So anyway, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.